You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Good morning, BigBeat. How are you doing today, my friend?
Good. I guess the markets are enjoying another day with the shutdown of the government. People are just nervous, Howard. It's just getting to be almost to the point now where people just don't really know what to do anymore. And they're good morning, Maryland. How are you? Look, WTI $58 a barrel. Silver now at 53 bucks an ounce. You know, people are getting nervous, and we've been talking about here on the show for how long now, and it's happening, and people shouldn't be shocked. Let's put it this way: if they start to see some sell-offs here now soon.
Yeah. With that being said, though, futures are grinding higher. Yeah. Nasdaq leading the way. TSMC crushed earnings and raises full-year growth to the mid-30s. That's the second hike this year, tied to the relentless AI demand. They're holding CapEx up at $42 billion, and management used the words very strong on ADI. All the ADRs are up pre-market. This keeps the IM infrastructure flywheel turning. S&P futures are within 1% of record highs. VIX back under 20. I don't know, Steve. The market's not saying what you are.
Bitcoin did this morning. Went from 111.6 to 108.4 in seconds. There's a lot of movement around here, you know. I think that the problem has been, and I'm going to tell you, I've seen this a lot, and I'm hearing it now. Now I'm hearing it. I'm not just seeing it. I'm hearing it from people calling me saying, "Yeah, you know what? I went to the airport, and I just didn't see that many people. Yep, I went to the grocery store, and my goodness, I was just at the grocery store yesterday, and I didn't buy that much, $91. I was like, wow, we didn't even buy anything. I bought some salad, and I'm not even eating anything anymore. How is this happening?" And I had posted an article yesterday. The CEO of crowdfunding is talking about the number of people that are crowdfunding to buy groceries. Howard, that's asinine in this country. That we throw away so much food. There's problems with food in this country. And this is a problem. So I don't know if Main Street's missing it or if the traders are missing it. But I can tell you, when I saw these cracks in 1997, it didn't take long. People think that the market's going to sell off and, oh, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen 5 seconds ago, and that's it. We're going to buy the dip again. The biggest run-ups in the markets happen in bad markets. They do. I mean, because they're buying up where they can, and then eventually the sell-off happens, and by the time it hits them, they don't even know what happened to them, right? And so I think we're seeing the very beginning of this. Now, I will say that I really enjoyed listening to Steve Flanagan yesterday talking about the new world order, that this is what Trump is trying to create, this new world order. But I don't know, is this new world order, people are hungry and killing each other? I don't know. That's not a world I want to live in. And I was reading yesterday, I can't even believe I'm saying this on the air, but we literally, 2 things happened yesterday. Our passport is no longer in the top 10 passports, the most respected passports in the world. And number 2, 8th graders in the United States can't even read at a 5th grade level. 8th graders in this country can't even read at a 5th grade level. We lowered the standards that much. That's a problem. So if we have an uneducated, healthy, food insecurity country, we're not respected around the world. Just who the hell are we as a country? And I think that's what's happening right now.
Okay, I don't really have much to add to that. I'm not in that boat at all. You're in that boat on your own here.
Good.
With that being said, AAII survey flipped hard this week. The bulls and the bears have flopped. We now see only a 33.7% of bulls, bears 46.1%, down from 45.9% bulls a week ago. Classic price up, vibes down after Friday's puke. So contrarians will say the dry powders of earnings continue to clear the bell.
So don't care what they think. Look, dumb money is still dumb money. I don't care what anybody says. Institutions, you can see it right now, 4.036% the 10-year, right? You're seeing money moving into the bond market, right? They don't do that unless they are trying to protect themselves. If they're looking for yield and they're looking for alpha, they're going to the stock market. I have moved money defensively out of stocks. I moved a lot of my money, as you know, Howard. That's why my portfolio, my trading portfolio is 86% in the last 4 months. 86%. How did that happen? And it wasn't U.S. stocks. I didn't do it on NVIDIA. I mean, yes, I traded quite nicely on Tesla. We did that here quite well. But it's because I moved in international stocks. I moved into emerging markets. I moved into gold and silver. I moved into things that were hot. I don't think that's hot now. I don't think the path of least resistance is the upside on gold. I don't think the path of least resistance is to the upside in silver. I think it's in materials. I think you're going to see major machines starting digging up. I think I made a joke yesterday. I think I'm going to dig up my backyard to go see what's in my backyard and sell it, right? That's a problem. And when you start to see those kind of things happening, there's a problem here. So, yeah, I get the investor sentiment, but the investors aren't usually always right.
No, not at all, for sure. And we do see that FINRA's margin debt, as you've talked about, is at or near a record, 1.06 trillion. It did get as high as 1.13 earlier in the year. So it tells me retail and pros are both leaned in.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not just retail; it's the pros too.
Good for them, good for them, and I love it. And if that's the case, and they feel like that this is where the market's going, okay. But this band feels like I am the Music Man, right? And the Music Man's hated and then all of a sudden the Music Man's going down as a Pied Piper down the middle of Main Street with the band, as the biggest band in the world. Why? Because this happened, yeah. I remember saying the same thing about AI. No, AI is not going to take over. AI is taking over. No, the internet's not going to take over. It took over, right? Sometimes when people see things in the markets, it's because we see it a little bit earlier. I'm not patting myself on the back. There you go. Fed's mirroring just says the economy is in a pretty good place, but has new risks. How do you say the economy is in a good place, but there's lots of risk? New risks.
Well, if you're new risk for the president, you're going to say what he tells you to say.
Right. So even they're acknowledging that there are problems, right? I mean, I'm not talking about to wake up because I don't think that's the right thing to say, right? Look, and one of my big rules is play the game in front of you, right? The game in front of us right now is AI and quantum computing and stuff like that. But when you have food insecurity around the world, when you have only 40% of America is participating in the stock market.
We've had the same food insecurity for the last 50 years.
Not on this level. And I remember the day. I remember the day when Ed Meese said there are no hungry people in America. Told Reagan in the White House there are no hungry people in America. Raise your hand if anybody believes that. I don't think so. Right? Right. So, you know, this whole economy is not working for everybody. And in order for AI to work, in order for the internet to work, everybody needs to be participating in this economy, right? You need the plumbers, and those people are making great money right now fixing houses up, right? You're starting to see a little bit of that change, but is this new world order in a way that people are having problems? And I think that's an issue right now. So yeah. All right, I'd love to hear people's perspective on this. Am I sitting alone in this? I think Howard's not on my team anymore on this. But
I mean, well, I don't. The world isn't ending. America isn't going away, and any of that is just, you know, ridiculous. Quite honestly, you know, are we in a good spot? No, we're not in a good spot. We know that by numbers there, but it's also not the sky is falling.
Sky is not falling, but they do need to be protected, though. Howard, don't you think they need to be protected, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do. We need the shutdown to end. It's ridiculous. You know, we're 15 days into that, and it doesn't look like it's got any end in sight. I did hear one theory that after I don't even remember what it was now because I don't take any credence in it. There's something happening later today, and after that goes through, they could. It's after the protest this weekend. The Democrats will come back to the table. They want the protest to happen in D.C. and then they'll come back to the table, you know, to get that public relations. I don't know if I buy it. Neither side seems to be moving an inch on it personally. So that definitely is a problem. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's got to get fixed. You know, we definitely think, but the other part, Steve, is earnings. Earnings keep coming in. You know, they keep coming in. So
but
how do you
know what? The past, and I'm okay. And I agree.
The past up until just a few weeks ago. It's not the past. I mean, we're not talking about a year. You know, yearly again. Now we use quarterlies. So, you know, for the last 3 months, you and I have both been of the same opinion that, you know, things weren't great. But I also, you know, I have to look at it. I'm looking at it now and saying maybe I was wrong because I'm looking at earnings reports and one after another. Most of them are coming in. And some of the ones that you follow, JP Hunt had great earnings are up. Some of the ones you told me to watch for are having those good earnings. So
yes,
I have to ask you, what changes there? You told me FedEx, JB Hunt, you know, some of the other ones.
But if you think about it, they're right. The JB Hunt's right because they're moving
great earnings.
They're moving product around because they were front running all the issues going on right now. The tariffs issue. Now there's a big issue. Now that you know, I love this.
I don't know. I live unfortunately in the middle of America where there's a ton of 18-wheeler traffic, and it's worse than it has been in the last 3 months.
So how do you move things around, Howard?
Holidays, we're getting ready for everything, and traffic on the highways is insane when it comes to 18-wheelers. I live at the corner of 70 and 75, two of America's routes that move everything across the globe, east, west, and north, south. And I can't tell you, it's my traffic is worse than it's ever been because of 18-wheelers. So they're out there bringing stuff. You know, I'm with you. Like I said, it's a paradox, but you said, play the hand in front of you. What is the earnings reports telling me? You know,
again, I'll repeat that. Earnings are the past. I'm talking about the future. We have to invest.
It's not forward guidance is what I'm talking about. Earnings forward guidance.
All right. So give me some forward guidance.
Are the rich going to carry us? Because UAL said, we're not doing well here. And I brought it up yesterday, right? 10% of the U.S. is responsible for 50% of the spending. That's 10% is doing great.
So give me a line.
80% in your trading portfolio. You're going to use that money to go on vacation.
But give me a line, though, Howard, from a guidance. Give me a CEO line. Any CEO, what they're saying about forward guidance in their company, or give me a macro picture where they're happy, where they're saying we're seeing a great world right now. It's a rosy picture. I'm not seeing any CEO saying that.
No,
Not
Rose, but
one.
again, they're just saying that it's just marching along. It's no, no one's saying it's easy. In fact, they're all patting themselves on the back, starting with Jamie Dimon first. That we managed
He
through
always
it.
pats himself in the back.
But that's the case. But they are, and they're all increasing. CRM again today increased their thing. Alibaba came out today and say their e-commerce AI is already making money. These are pretty big statements that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I'm going through these reports every morning, and there's some pretty good stuff there. Like you said,
Okay, so
cost controls are a big word that I have highlighted on a lot of these. They're all watching cost controls. They all say tariffs definitely are a problem. But they keep on raising their guidance and having beats. So I've got to play that right now. At least for the short term. I mean, I'm not saying don't hedge your portfolio. I'm definitely still very and firmly of that, but it's not, again, like I said, earnings, I think, are changing the tune. More traders last night kept trades overnight than they have for the last 3 weeks. So are they starting to believe, and that's what you just asked about crypto. The problem with crypto, there's no spot buying. It's all being done on perps. When we see spot buying come in, then I'll tell you we're not crashing. I told you Bitcoin was going down yesterday. It wasn't done.
Yeah, and
it didn't clear out enough leverage again last night. Solana finally might have. That's the one to watch today because it cleared out a decent amount and leverage reset. So does that change it? Yeah, I'm with you. Again, I look to the people that we talk to on a daily basis that are mentioning, again, the investors are as happy can be. Non-investors,
I'm super happy.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
very,
that's
very
what I'm
happy.
saying. And I'm here in Middle America, and I talk to a lot of people who aren't. You know what I mean? And they're not as angry as you would think.
Wait. That's my point, though, Howard. We're happy as traders. I'm ecstatic. I did a dance this morning, all looking at my portfolios. But that's not fair to the rest of the country and the rest of the world that are having problems, right?
But I'm going to tell you, here in Ohio, where the farmers are getting hit, they believe that a reset needs to happen, and they're willing to eat it to do it. And that's not from one person.
Are they willing to give up their farms and lose their job?
They're not in that situation. They're counting on bailouts that always come. But they are. But I'm amazed. I'm sitting here looking at people that are getting hit the hardest, like you just said,
right?
And they're not the people that are screaming about the current administration.
They're not, because I think they're embarrassed of their vote.
No, they're not. I'm going to tell you what it is. These people, I'm amazed. They firmly believe that the world order. They're in Mr. Flanagan's boat.
Okay.
They believe that the current president, the current administration, is resetting a world order that need to be reset. Otherwise, we were on the road to destruction. And
he's not wrong. I agree with that. We were on the road to
I do think that the Democrats have overestimated what's going to come.
I agree. And for those of you who don't know, I was very, very hard on Joe Biden. I've been extremely hard on Joe Biden. I thought he was aloof. I thought he lost the wheel. I thought he was a bad president. I've said this several times.
No, yeah, we've gone from bad to bad. It's not.
We've gone from bad to worse.
Levels of bad. I'm not going bad to worse yet. I'm just going to say bad to bad.
Okay, we're going to bad to bad. I agree.
Bad. But this play that they're making, and Schumer getting caught on tape saying every day this goes on is better for us, just showed his hand.
Politically, he's not wrong, but
he is because they're watching that. In other words, no, because
they are now.
America, where they lost, right? They lost the election in Ohio. They didn't lose it in New York City because New York
and
City,
in Wisconsin and in Michigan because of these goddamn reasons, right?
And I agree with that. I'm saying the areas of Mid-America that are going to decide the elections and always do. Because the fringe are going to vote for the fringe. It doesn't matter.
Trump deserved to win the election.
So that's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't know. And I do. I mean, I'm talking to friends that work in restaurants, and they are investors, but they're restaurant workers. These are cooks. These are everyday Americans, waiters, bartenders, and they're saying, man, I'm doing good enough in the market that I'm not leaving. I'm hearing.
I'm doing good enough.
Yeah,
I'm not leaving.
And so far. I get, and we'll see when I talk to more people in DC this week, but they haven't lost their jobs. You know what I mean? Is we haven't seen that the kids are willing to live at their parents' house. They don't care. So there's this, you know what I mean? So there's this, I know what you're saying, and I'm with you on where we are from a data standpoint. What I'm saying is that sentiment, though, isn't just a foolish, type of look. It is more that there's a structural change, and the people that are on the right are looking for a structural change on a worldwide order, and the people on the left are looking for a structural change in the U.S. And they're both, think that.
Well, why can't we all come together and do something
Listen,
better?
you're talking to a moderate.
Yeah. We're both moderates. Most people don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I mean is I fall right in between you and Steve. Right? Is for him the everything is rose colored, and every move the administration makes is going to be a home run. Whereas you are now of the view of almost everything he does is idiot. And I'm in the middle where
I'm tired of it.
not
Right?
everything we need, and you are there too. I mean, you've usually fallen to the moderate side. The last 2 weeks,
I'm very moderate. Yeah.
Moderate side. But
I think the problem is these tariffs. They're causing massive problems. Right.
But we haven't, here's part of it is they're passing it along to us. So we're not going to see that in earnings.
Yeah.
And if you can afford to pay for it because you up 80% in your portfolio in 4 months, you still went to the grocery store and spent $90 on it.
Howard, you and I are on the norm.
Stuff, unfortunately, we fall into that 10. Well, I don't fall into that 10%, but we fall into that part where I forget how many are investors in the U.S. It's still a small number.
I was having this chat with Catherine, my wife, on the way home from dinner last night, and I'm like, what world do we live in that she and I live in the 0.0000006% of the world, and we don't really think about things, right? We don't worry where our next meal is coming from. All of these things, and it's not right for the whole world to be this way, right?
No, I mean,
no one should have food insecurity.
The whole idea of crypto was providing opportunity to the unbanked and the underprivileged around the world. Is why I got into crypto, and why
Bitcoin dropping now again. We're seeing more dumping again here.
Yeah, we're gonna see range. I mean, on crypto, we're gonna go sideways to down, and there's just no spot volume to justify the moves to the upside yet. Yeah. And again, part of this that's broken, Steve, is that I think we're pegged to certain areas because of zero DTEs, because of large players in the calls and that are using hedges. As those make ranges, right? Those type of situations are making ranges. That high FINRA's amount of margin doesn't mean it's all long. I do want to bring that up.
No, it's all right. It's not all long.
And for someone like me, I only dip into my margin ever to do a hedge. It's more, I'm a cash guy in general, but if I do feel that I'm too long, that's when I do go into margin, is to hedge. So, that's what we got to look at. Let's get into the actual market itself, because that's what people want to hear, not us pontificate.
Not pontificating, but I think we'll need.
We're giving them the information. I know, but
yeah.
But they do want to see what's going on in the market. Tick is pretty neutral. Advanced decline 22.95 to the upside. It has been moving up throughout the morning. I will point out, I pointed out on my watch list this morning, we hit the highs of the day yesterday at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then we just melted down. So while it was a green day, if you look at it, after the fact and weren't watching the market, it wasn't a strong day, in my opinion. At 1 o'clock, we started moving back up. Right. President overnight said we are in a trade war. That's not going to help things. I forgot to put that battle up there. Dixie 98.58. So still moving to the downside there too. So again, the dollar is weakening. Gold at 42.52. Futures hit 4,500, I believe. Peter Thomas tweeted out last night.
We'll have Peter, by the way, after at 10 o'clock this morning. So awesome. Stick around, everybody here.
Yeah. So we do want to find out what's going there. And I do think that part, and I guess, Steve, that would be another part, because I would be the example of that. I do not buy physical gold and silver like you. I use my brokerage account to buy GLD or SLV or options on them or whatever I'm doing. So, maybe people are being smart that way. Could that be part of it? I haven't looked at inflows on. That's a good one for tomorrow. I will look at the inflows on the commodity-based ETFs, because maybe that's part of it too, Steve, is that, while we talk about margin being high, FINRA being high, are they putting money into those? That could be an answer too. And then if we look at rates so far, you brought them up, Steve. They have inched back up. The 10 years up about 40 basis points to 4.044. US 30-year at 4.638. Again, almost up the same amount. If we look at the 11 sectors of the S&P, they are on my side so far as they're all ready to open on the green. But again, I firmly believe we'll see a sell-off like yesterday. I am expecting that. It just looks too similar. It just looks too similar to yesterday. And traders have short memories. So those that played the shorts off the open yesterday and then waited for the buy the dip will probably try to rinse and repeat. And the same thing on the crypto side. The retail keeps on going long, and institutions and market makers just keep on liquidating them. And they just keep playing the same game back and forth. And it keeps us locked into a little bit of a range here. Mag 7 or 8, depending on how you looked at it. Hey, Steve, I have one for you. Do you notice that CNBC's pulled Tesla out of their mag stuff?
I think it's a personal issue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is I noticed today I noticed it last week once, and I thought I just looked at something where they listed, what they call the mag cap stocks, and they didn't include Tesla in there. I thought that was interesting today. So I just thought I'd bring that up. But so far, NVIDIA, TSMC, we do have to talk a little bit about there, Steve. They crushed earnings, they raised there again. You asked me, why am I bullish? They raised guidance again. And not off of small numbers. These, some of these were bigger numbers. They beat revenue by 30% year over year. AI is still the engine. They reiterated their CapEx plan, and they growth lifted from mid 30% for 2025. So that has in sympathy NVIDIA up about 1.28, and the chips in general all looking pretty good this morning. The one that's not is AMD, Steve. Does look like it's starting to pull back a little bit after the surge we've seen. I did see HSBC put out a $310 price target out on them yesterday.
I mean,
AMD, which is trading at 238 today.
Exactly. We've been talking about it for a while. Real quickly, I'm looking at Tesla falling here, 430, 480. I mean, look at that drop here in the last few seconds as the beginning of the start here.
What did it do yesterday morning? It did the same thing. Yeah, not quite the same.
Not quite the same, but we've seen two big volume drops there.
Yeah, same thing. It was pretty similar yesterday.
It could be institutions are starting to take some profit there.
Yeah, that's something I do think that we are going to see more of personally. Is that's going to be a drag, I think, is that as we're in Q4, some of the hedge funds, all those guys will start to book some profits, right? Isn't that going to be a part of that?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I don't think this is going to be a fun Q4. I talked about this before. Dan Niles and I had a chat when I was on the floor, and I will tell you, I just chatted with him the other day, and he still thinks the same thing, right? That Q4 is not going to be fun for people, and people are not prepared for it. He thinks it's going to be a bad Thanksgiving. So
you have to bring up that the person you talked to also who said the same thing has now changed his tune is Dan Ives.
Dan's a great guy. I love Dan personally. I think he's got. I think he dresses a little bit better than me sometimes. I like Dan. Everybody here knows I like Dan.
He was the first to sort of give you that insight of the Thanksgiving worry.
But he's also the same guy to say that he loves Taiwan Semi. He was huge on Taiwan Semi. He gave us a great update on Taiwan Semi when I was there. And I didn't always agree with him, but I asked the question, is Taiwan Semi as well loved in Taiwan as NVIDIA is in the United States? He goes, no. He says, yet. He goes, but
we
they
are open, Steve, here. Yeah. You're going to want to watch your Tesla just drop to the downside.
Yeah,
here.
I haven't made a move yet. I'm holding back my thoughts on it. I can't figure out what I'm going to do with Tesla just yet. I know Bitcoin's pushing to the upside a bit here. So, and I'll tell you, like I said earlier today, like I'm so up right now that it's like I don't even I don't even know if I want to even trade. I'm getting to the point where I don't even know if I want to trade right now.
Tick is slightly down. Advanced decline did not really move on the open. 24.58,
No.
24.50. So that's pretty
There's Casper
flat.
pushing to the upside again there, 430.
Qs are up 53 basis points. First move was down, then it bounced straight up. So, and this is what we saw yesterday. We saw buying off the open across most of the market. Steve mentioned Bitcoin moving to the upside a little bit here, 111 to 75. As we mentioned, I did say we would revisit 108. I didn't necessarily think it would happen yesterday, but it did.
Oh, okay. Tesla now dropping. Says I'm saying I don't see anything in here that I just don't see anything in here.
CRM is moving to the upside still. They again increased their earnings, raised guidance to $60 billion in revenue.
Wow, Tesla's gone for charts
up here.
Tesla just dropped off of my charts there. I had to go change my charts.
Nestle up 8.5% here this morning after announcing they laid off how many? I gotta look at my thing here. After laying off 16,000 folks. So not sure where their earnings were not that great. UAL, we talked about, had an earnings miss, but talked about the rich folks buoying their holiday season very well for them, down about 82 basis points. Steve, one of your favorites, you are on Schwab on a weekly basis, up about 2.4% here this morning. Are seeing a little bit of a sell-off here, but they had some great earnings also. You know, trading. I did have a segment here about the fact that one of the things that's really taken off that you are a big part of, Steve, and we are at Quasar, is the broker tech and how so many new pro platforms are being put together where AI is being included, from Robinhood to Schwab's TOS to Webull, all sort of integrating different ability to write scripts for you. Your own.
They better be careful because I have something coming.
Yeah. So, but I am seeing a lot more chatter about that. Tick still down slightly here. Qs did move to the upside though, now up 64 basis points. Dow Jones is up 18 basis points, but moving to the low of the open here. RUT up about 32 basis points to small caps, so they're moving in the right direction.
Okay, I am short Tesla now, Howard. I don't see this thing holding up much here.
There it goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna
holding up pretty well so far. Apple down about 85 basis points.
I'm putting in I'm putting a limit order in farther away though. I think we're gonna see some serious downside. I don't want to jump the gun again like I have been the last few days. So I don't like this. This is a very weak market right now, I think.
Whoa. JB Hunt up 15% here this morning, but off of the highs of the day, trying to get back above 160. So some of the movers still moving to the upside. Schwab, like I said, has sold off a little bit here. Alibaba, big profit taken here at the open. Same thing. TSMC back to even on the day. Oh, that's the wrong TSMC. I want this one. TSM down 44 basis points. So again, even the good news has people moving to the downside. Tick still pretty flat here. Advanced declines dropped down to 1,800, so we definitely see profit taken. We do see the Dow Jones getting a little bit of a bounce back up here now, up 25 basis points.
Yeah, but I mean,
dropping to the downside.
Gold and silver telling you the whole story here.
Silver's actually selling off a little bit. I need that to be
a little bit, but I mean,
they are driving it. Yeah.
I mean, $53 an ounce. That is, you're talking about the 1980s, the last time we saw this.
Yes, sir.
I don't. Yeah, I see a very weak market here today. I don't think we're going to see what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, we're not seeing really the runners. I mean, CRM is the one runner here, 7.8% to the upside so far. Going here 8. So we do have one runner that I see so far. Yeah, I don't see a bunch.
Intel's down about 0.3%. Nvidia up 1% a little bit. So there is
here getting a nice little run. UiPath. They've had a nice little run here for the last month or so. So UiPath, definitely nice little run here. Snowflake on good news today of raising their partnership with Palantir, but now pulling back from the highs of the morning. Gold now up 1%, so continuing to move to the upside, like Steve mentioned. Critical Metal Corp is pulling back pretty hard. A lot of the metals were pulling back this morning. The material sector after, a huge run. Steve, your IBKR has earnings today. Do you think they crush it like Schwab?
I do. Yep, I do.
And then the other big earnings after hours.
But again, that's the past, right? I mean, I got to worry. Fed's Waller just said lots of space to change Fed forecasts. What is?
Well, they don't have any data to point to, so they
There's
don't know.
no data for them, right? I mean,
they're literally lost. CSX up about 63 basis points going into their earnings tonight too, Steve.
Okay, Tesla's pushing a little bit here. I'm a little concerned a little bit.
Oh, it is.
I don't know if there's enough pressure to push to the upside to make it do anything. Yeah, okay, yeah, it doesn't.
Bitcoin is pushing up here in the cash open. I'd be more of a fader into that 113 level than following it at this point. Make it prove it to you before you buy. It's holding up there, Steve. 114, advanced decline back over 2,000. So a little bit of a change from yesterday where we saw that, initial pump off the market open. A little bit more muted today. So not the repeat of yesterday so far. Crypto more following with that move to the upside here.
53.16 now.
40.65. Oil continues to slide here, Steve. We're at 58 on the WTI. Take a look at the biggest laggards here. Hewlett-Packard had some bad earnings today there, Steve. I forgot about that one. Down 8.55% here today.
Yeah, I don't even know what Hewlett-Packard even does anymore.
They guided below the street. Yeah, they still make computers, I guess. I think I have one.
They are software and heavy hardware, but for data. But
I know what you mean. Yeah, they don't have done anything that matters in years. I'm with you. Their CEO was on CNBC. I didn't watch it this morning. Rigetti down about 4.56 here, and CleanSpark getting hit pretty hard. Same with IREN. So a lot of the names that were moving heavily to the upside. A little profit taken here. USAR. This is one that's been getting hit for the third or fourth day here in a row. And again, JB Hunt is the leader so far, up
See where
16.85.
Bob Lang here is adding a lot of Uber December 95 calls here. Don't understand why, but he likes Uber here.
Maybe they announced one of the self-ride auto taxi things in December. He's thinking they get some regulatory approval, maybe.
Maybe I'll post it for everybody so they can see it. $434. About to see Tesla here getting to. I have a limit order in farther out, so I'm taking. I'm not taking any profit. I'm not going to jump the gun here, folks. I'm going to try to take some big money out of here. So I think the sell-off might be stronger than we think here, but that's. We're hearing analysts now saying that most big oil companies expect to suspend buyback if oil falls below $50. That makes total sense, right? They don't make any money on $50.
Right. You've often talked 60 is the key spot,
65,
right?
Right around 65 is where they need to be. Sweet spots around 72. The drop here.
Waller, it would be good for the Fed to refrain from long run forecasts. Isn't that their job?
I think they should refrain from it now because, quite frankly, there's no data. Yeah, I think it'd be irresponsible of the Fed to even make any kind of responsible moves there, right?
Hey, that's the first time you've agreed with a Fed official in about 6 years.
Shh, don't say anything. Lose my reputation. No, I agree with Waller on this. There's no reason.
Makes sense with no data. Yeah, I just wonder if he's saying it because of that, or is he saying it, you know what I mean? Because
there's a lot of problems, tariffs out there. There's a lot of things I don't really understand right now. It's affecting the markets in ways that they're not used to, right? So it's hard for them to make those decisions, especially if they don't. Here we go. Come on, Mr. Tesla. Let's drop that baby down.
Rhetoric picking up against Russia here. I'll put it into a banner. EU's economy commissioner says Britain and Canada have expressed interest in working to use the reparations loan model on frozen Russian assets they hold. That is going to make Vladdy a little angry.
Yeah. A little bit more of a drop here in Tesla, and I think I'll be a happy camper here. Does it do it? Yeah, I think it is, but we don't know. There might be some buyers down there. I don't know.
We do see Dow Jones holding up at about 20 basis points to the upside, the SPY, a quarter of a point, but it is struggling to try to get through VWAP right now. Fails here. Watch for the S&P to break to the downside. That's a pretty good trade. Qs have moved back and forth across VWAP like it doesn't matter. And the rut is the one that looks like it wants to move to the upside here so far. That's probably the best looking chart. Small caps up 25 basis points, but nice buying this morning overall. Gold up 1.13%, and there goes silver for me. Thank you, silver. Gold at 42.55, silver at 53.
Tell me a time in history where gold and silver is making new highs and the world's good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the first trade I've ever done on silver. I've bought gold plenty of times. I've just never been a silver guy like you.
This could be a real drop here on Tesla. Tesla could be really, really in trouble here.
Bearish divergence and a trend direction to the wrong direction. So you are looking pretty good. RSI's turned over.
Not quite there, but it looks like
it looks like it wants to. You need this VZO to start turning over a little bit more.
Feds Waller says ignore the. I got to read that again. Ignore the president's criticisms.
It's not wrong. Waller's got them all coming out today.
He's really
well. Have a different feel on it because I got another one.
Mary, baby, I like that.
This would be one we'll have to ask Mr. Flanagan about because he says once supply chains are disrupted, they might not come back to their prior state.
The New World Order. He keeps talking about this New World Order thing that's going on out there. So yeah.
And Waller now agreeing with you, Big B. Huge deficits are not sustainable in the long run. No, you know what, Sherlock. Italy seeks $12.8 billion from banks and insurers to fund their 2026 to 2028 budget. So things in Europe looking just rosy.
But she said that everything is great and that she should be thanked for her wonderful vision of Europe.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not the world I live in. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, here's one for me. Pelage Pharmaceuticals said on Wednesday it closed a $120 million funding round to help advance the development of its novel hair loss treatment. Come on, baby, get it done soon.
What hair loss? What hair loss? How
yeah.
I didn't even know you had hair. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have hair to have. I don't think I've ever known you do have hair.
Yeah. I do love watching Financial Juice and Walter Bloomberg.
I have to ask, Howard, have you ever had hair? Or even as a baby, did you have hair then?
Yes. But about the same time that Michael Jordan became bald, so did I. I picked a good.
Oh, is that right?
To be born because we went bald at the same time.
You're blaming Michael Jordan. I love that.
No, I'm not blaming him. He made it cool to be bald. So
he made it cool to be bald. All right.
As soon as it started going, I shaved it off.
All right.
I was never a comb over guy.
Okay. All right.
Waller, stable fiscal policy is the best way to keep yields down. He's just got he's full of them today. Deficit bad, stable fiscal policy good. That's the takeaways. And there goes Tesla to the downside for you, Steve. I've been trying not to mention it.
Yeah,
tick down about 200 here. Dow Jones, though, that looks like where it's fallen a little bit off the Dow Jones. SPY broke back above VWAP, but got rejected here. Now back below it. Q's coming down towards VWAP, and that's mostly the Mag 7 that seems to be selling off a little bit from their highs of the day.
I'm starting to enjoy my Apple phone a bit here, Howard. I now have Apple News. I got all the Apple products around me, and the ecosystem seems to be working quite well for me. I was using my Vision Pro yesterday. It was all working together. So I'm starting to like it a little bit. There's some limitations, a lot of limitations, but it's getting. It's starting to grow on me a little bit.
I got the new AirPods. That's as far as I've gone so far.
Oh, I love the new AirPods. They're great. Yeah.
They are good, except my little one has them somewhere, and I think I've now lost them forever.
Uh-oh.
Around and then nowhere to be seen. That's the problem with a 5-year-old. Oil dropping even a little more here, 57.86. Silver and gold continuing to move to the upside here. CRM coming off of the highs of the day, so that's pulled back there. That was a pretty big wick to the downside. That's actually a nice, healthy move. CRM does look like it wants to run a little bit today. UAL down now, down 1.6%. Talked about Hewlett Packard down 6.67, really moving back to the upside here, highs of the day, so that's nice. JB Hunt now 17% to the upside, nice move there. Talked about AVGO, Micron, NVIDIA all to the upside on sympathy from TSM's great earnings report.
Keep on selling, Tesla. Come on, baby.
USB up 2.41% here, Steve. Another bank again, US Bank Corp. Great earnings again.
Come to mama, baby. Come to mama. Keep coming. Come to mama. Keep coming to mama. And Howard Greenberg.
Oh, don't do it yet. Oh, you missed it. Still had time.
No, I got it right. That dropped there.
Oh, you still running it? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're going, baby. We're going for. I have an order.
You want to run this down to 430.45, and then
Okay,
I would only put a trailing
I won't.
stop on.
I won't say what my order is, but we're getting there.
And I would switch it to trailing stop too.
Come on, come to mama, baby. Come to mama, and I'm out. There it is, 431.80. Yes, that's where I wanted to be at. So it might pop up, I don't know, but I am out. I've not missed one now again. It's been a while now since I missed, so it might go, for 53.30 now on silver as it runs again now here.
Yeah.
I look. I don't know how else to explain it. Things are just, I don't know what's holding it up. Is it hopes and dreams and fears and
like I said, I don't know. Maybe they're hedging right. I mean, my silver is up 51% that I entered the other day. I can't complain.
Yeah. This could be the drop here in Mr. Tesla here again.
So I don't see solid support till 430. And that's only a make or break it time.
And look at oil 57.83 now. Continue to
around 426 again.
Will this push for stable coins within JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, will this hurt Bitcoin?
No, neither has anything to do with each other.
Yeah, okay. Right. Well, that's true. We know that, but I mean, will do you think that people will confuse it?
No, well, yeah, people will confuse it. I had someone yesterday that was asking whether they should buy a stable coin as an investment in my room. Because
really?
Again, they still don't understand, and we talk about it every day. I said, yeah, sure. There was it's just, I mean, people get confused, but it's one is going to be used to move money around the globe.
That's right.
Instantly. For all payment purposes, one will be used more as an investment tool.
To help people understand that currency, right?
The rails of Bitcoin is maybe where the most secure stable coins would move on. I mean, if I'm if I am a government using stable coins, or if I am JP Morgan, I would want to use the rails of Bitcoin before I would want to use Tron or one of these other finite blockchains to do it. And the Lightning Network will let you do that. So
here's one for you.
Without realizing you're using Bitcoin.
I had a guy, and you already know my answer to that person, but I'm going to ask you. Ripple, they put all their money, their whole savings in Ripple. Now, we already know the answer to that question, right? No, the answer that's no, don't do that. But they're betting big on Ripple because they're betting big on Ripple. Is Ripple going to be okay here?
Ripple's going to be a company. I mean, is it going to be? First of all, you don't put all your money in anything. I mean,
but no, let's get past that. We already know that the stupidity of that's already high.
You don't put all your money where the company behind it is holding 68% of the tokens still, and can sell them whenever they want. Basically, I mean, there is a vesting schedule. They can't sell them all at once, but they dump into every run. It's nothing wrong. I mean, I hold a little Ripple. It's part of my portfolio. I have people that are part of the Ripple army. To trade it, it's great, but no, it shouldn't be. No, it's not replacing Swift by itself. XLM's got part of those partnerships too. Stellar. It's not there's no one answer to all these. No one's going to win. Nobody wants one winner. Everyone hates Swift, right? Because it was the one answer. Right. So. But yeah, no, XRP should not be your only investment. Is XRP going to be part of the answer? Yeah. It will be interesting to see how they also evolve. Some of these companies like Ripple and XLM are now realizing that they need to be more than that. They're not going to replace Swift in and of itself, and that's going to be enough. So they're now allowing for other things to happen on their blockchains that will make them more useful. I mean, real world asset tokenization for that infrastructure layer, that's what matters the most. Everything else is just side notes. When Larry Fink says that BlackRock will tokenize every one of their offerings moving forward, basically, that's what matters. That's trillions and trillions of on-chain movement, and they want it on public blockchain, not private. Speaking of gold and silver, I'll give him a minute to get himself set up here, but I do see our main man, Peter Thomas, in the room. Let me get rid of my charts to start off with. And he looks ready, so let's bring him in. Peter, how are you today?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Hey, how are you, man? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm surprised you don't have a suit spun made out of gold and silver and platinum. And you don't have gold.
Peter Schiff is wearing that now.
I said, Peter, I said, I'm surprised you don't have like a gold.
This is, you know,
it looks like Peter's got a little bit of a lag.
For some reason, you're. Yeah, it sounds like exactly right. We're seeing lines around the block going into gold stores with people selling and buying. I don't think we've seen this since the last time we pierced $50, and it is just wild.
Explain to me, Peter. Explain to me the thought process. I mean, you lived through the '80s. I mean, you were Mr. You were at the Hunt Brothers game when it happened the last time in silver. 53.37 right now on silver. Should I go rush out and dump all my silver at the local gold and silver shop, or what?
Well, as you know, all of my followers are up 110% right now, Steve. And I told everyone, I said, look, here's the deal. When you're up over 100%, sell half. No matter what happens, you're going to walk away with something in your pocket. It's just money management at this point. Right. Nobody knows where we're going. And Steve, let's back up and go to your point of the Hunt Brothers. I was there when the federal government came in and shut the silver market down.
Oh, they're going to do it again?
Well, they can't. They're closed, baby. It's a perfect storm. There's nobody getting away.
That's right.
Yep. Perfect storm.
Okay, let's say the government does come back. What then?
Take them 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get settled in. Then they look over and they go, okay, we don't want silver at these levels. And they come in and they do it again. And they say, sell only positions. Market is closed. And that'd be the end of it, you know. But I have a feeling that this time that isn't going to go over too well.
No, I don't think so. That's how the president got elected, those young people, and they love their silver right now.
Yes.
I will say I'm pretty sure I'm going to probably. I mean, I was excited about $43 an ounce.
Oh, I remember.
I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, and I still, and for some reason, Peter, everything else I have no problem selling. I have no problem selling stock or crypto or whatever.
Yeah.
I have a problem here. I can't. I look at the physical and I go, it just looks pretty. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. Dead hands.
But yeah, exactly. Do I want to sell my gun? Do I want to sell my gold? That's pretty much the question. And Steve, it's just a tough call because the vol has not slowed down. Bullish consensus has not slowed down. Consumption by central banks. I did the numbers this morning, gentlemen, and they came out. I was banging away on my abacus, and the numbers came out 80 tons a month since the beginning of the year. I mean, the central banks are buying with both hands. Okay,
how do you explain 80 tons to the average person?
You can't. And when the first time you see a ton, you go, "That's kind of small." Right. You really, that's the first thing that clicks on your mind because you figured what you just paid for it, and then you go, oh, okay, it's on that little pallet, but the thing is that then you got all those guys in bulletproof vests with shotguns and the armored truck and the this and the that, and it really does sit on you. You're kind of like, wow, this is a big
deal. And then
deal.
Multiply that by 80.
And keep in mind that for those that don't realize, an ounce, depending, do they use metric, UK, or US?
This is a metric number, by the way.
Okay, so that's 35,273 ounces per ton. So keep that in mind. Times that now by that number. So I just wanted to put that into reference because I don't, we talk about gold in ounces. So
oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you did. But I will tell you that central banks are still buyers. And what we're seeing is a lot of people coming in going, hey, I've had this gold. My mother left me this jewelry. And I got, 18 pieces here and they're gold. And what's happening,
Right.
Yeah, there are two things that I always notice when I see these runs like this. The first thing is the commercials, gold commercials everywhere when they're ready to dump, right?
They're not.
I also know that grandma and grandpa starts dumping all their gold on their kids, and their kids go start raiding mommy and daddies and grandpas and grandmas gold jewelry chests and all that,
Yep.
And at that point, gold dealers don't even want the diamonds; they just want the gold. They don't even care about the diamonds.
Oh no, and it's weird. Back when I represented the Flaxmans for their hedging for their refinery, I would come in, after the close, and they'd just be throwing giant tea sets, worth of just beautiful, engraved, and they just throw them right in the furnace. You're just looking at these pieces going, oh, the workmanship. Yeah, the workmanship. But the stuff holding this stuff together is slag. We're throwing that out. We're just refining the silver, and it's strange. But you're right. And the same with jewelry. I mean, diamonds are just in the way.
Diamonds are just in the way. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people don't realize that, but that's exactly right. Like they don't even care about that part of it.
Not at all. Not at all. It's just, kind of like a byproduct, you get a little platinum, you get a little palladium, a little silver, but the only thing you want when you're smelting really is the gold.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about AU Secure, Peter.
Well, AU Secure, we started, a couple decades ago. It has always been the premier in the software, which I know, which is why you were looking at it so hard, Steve, when you were developing Quasar, because you loved our API, you loved all our software, and we've always been in the forefront of development. And as you know, I'm the chairman. I do offshore, and I do a fair amount of TV in the Middle East as well. So it was a real good fit for all of us. And AU Secure has really been known for development. As you know, I had the first gold machine, and it had ocular recognition, fingerprint, and you could come in and slip your credit card in and buy gold, and it was a great deal. So we've always been doing something that has been on the forefront of metals.
42.54 right now, 42.55 going up a little bit more here on gold. Where's your stop here? Where do you
I'll tell you how that's a real good question, and I can tell you what I tell the people that follow me on LinkedIn and all, X and all the other places. I always tell them, look, nobody picks the top. I don't care who you think you are or what you think you know. All right. I don't know where the top is, so you certainly don't. And that's the bottom line. So what I do is, it goes to your point, Steve, and that's such a good way to put it. Where is my stop? Do it on a dollar average. How much do I have in it? How much am I willing to give back? And then you set your stop in and forget about it. And if the market moves up, you move your stop up, because you never want to go home a loser when you're a winner. And that's my rules.
Are you saying put in a trailing stop? Is that what you're trying to say?
100%, Steve.
Okay. All right. For those of you who don't know what trailing stop is, when you put an order in to sell as it's going up, but it follows you at a certain percentage or certain dollar limit that you set. So good sage advice there from Peter. All right, Peter. I mean, we literally are living in times. We've been Howard and I had a heated discussion this morning. As you know, Steve Flanagan yesterday, another heated discussion. The question that's been coming up, quite frankly, and Steve Flanagan made a very good point yesterday. Are we living in a new world order? Is the world order that we are so used to, Peter, is it changing? You and I have been through a few world order changes, but is this a new world order that we're going through? Is this a new cocoon breaking out for the butterfly here?
Well, I will tell you on a couple of levels, absolutely. From first off, as a trader with over 4 decades, and my father on the floor for 4 decades as well. My sister and my brother-in-law were at the Board of Trade as well. So, we're a multi-generational family of traders. Now, from looking at it through my eyes that way, we're in a completely new trading situation. The market is completely different. And all of it comes back to computers, Steve. I mean, the algo guys have changed the dynamics of a market. A market starts to run, and before it would take a while, it would get a little traction, it would move. Now a market starts to move, the algos recognize it, and they just start buying or selling immediately. So the dynamics of the market in itself are changing. Now, geopolitically, we don't have enough time to go into it,
Well, we do actually, Peter. That's why you're here. Let's go into it.
I mean, the thing that has changed this dynamic for gold. Now, let's go to my court here. Putin has changed the entire game. When he was sitting there with thousands of tanks and rolling into the Ukraine, I believe, having followed it closely over the years, I think our premium on gold is about $500 just from that singular war. Also, every time he sneezes, it goes nuclear. It's good for like $40 to $60. So if you're a scalper, there you go, guys. That's a freebie.
So if Putin were to come out and say, "Okay, I'm backing off the Ukraine war," you think that gold will drop $500 an ounce?
100%.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Well, what are your thoughts? Is he going to say that?
He's lost 1.3 million young people. What a disaster. What a horror. And the Ukrainians anywhere from 400 to 600. So we've had 2 million people die. And the horrors of war are beyond belief. And the drones and the bombings and the thing that's holding gold up here right now, in my opinion, is, are we going to see Tomahawk missiles go to the Ukraine? Because that is the game changer. And if we do, it's going to, you can add another $500 to gold.
Trump said that we are sending Tomahawks if he doesn't get straightened up a little bit, right?
Exactly. Well, it's still an if. He's a good chess player too. Putin isn't the only chess master on that board. So if he does,
your number for deaths was 1.4 million, and I understand that was from a June number. Is that right? So we've had even more deaths since then. Is that correct?
Well, here to show you how large the atrocity is. The Russians have developed a portable crematorium, and they put it up to war sites, load the bodies up, burn them, dump the ash in the field, and keep going. So, what is the real count? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And by the way, how many North Koreans have we lost? You don't see a piece of it.
I'm not going to report those. Those guys are just gone.
They're just cannon fodder, Yeah, go take that hill. Okay, how many did we lose? 3,000. Okay, so what? Burn them up. Burn them up. There's no report of it or anything else. They're gone. That's all.
This is just, to me, it's sickening and disgusting.
And we got news just as we said that Trump and Putin speak Thursday before the Zelensky meeting per Axios. Just came out on Walter Bloomberg.
And we're now seeing reports that the United States will furlough nuclear weapons workers if shutdown continues.
Wow.
U.S. Nuclear Weapons Agency to begin furlough.
Yeah, the whole agency will shut down.
All right. So we don't really need them to ship because those aren't going to be nuclear tipped devices. They're going to be what's called conventional.
Bitcoin dropping here a little bit. Gold still pushing 40. We've jumped another $5 an ounce since you were talking, Peter.
Sure.
42.60, 53.47. One that we haven't been talking about too much is platinum and palladium. Yeah, talk to us about platinum and palladium here.
Well, as you know, those of us who those are your followers here on your show for the last since the beginning, I've been touting for our people that follow us, and also on my other shows in the Middle East, to buy platinum, and that was below $1,000, and so we're up right around 73% right now, and the palladium and also I got a boatload of rhodium too, which we picked up. And,
I was going to ask you about rhodium too. Can you explain what rhodium is to people?
Well, rhodium is another. Some people consider it a rare earth. We've been picking up a lot of use in petroleum. It has a lot of use in catalytic converters, and I felt that the EV market was going to fall apart. As you know, last year you and I discussed that, and I said it just can't stay up because we don't have the infrastructure, which goes to my talk on copper with you as well. And we just.
I was going to ask about how is copper looking these days. We still feeling good about getting back to 36.
It's been shopping around like crazy. Every time China comes out and says that's it, there's a tariff, there's a this, it collapses. Then they go, well, maybe we're not going to have the and it rallies. And look at China is 63% of all copper used. They are the big kahuna on the block. And the question is, are the tariffs going to come off? Are there more tariffs going on? I mean, it's flip a coin time. But as far as 2 to 3 years out, I think anywhere below the $5 area is a relatively low exposure to the metal at that point. Huh?
You keep talking, Peter, and 42.63 now an ounce on gold.
You mean silver? Oh, 42. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It's not stopping. This thing is like it's like people picking up nickels in front of a steamroller.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I had a long discussion with a very large options writer in Switzerland this morning, and he said, "Well, I think I'm going to." And I said, by the time the ink dries on your order, you're going to be a loser. And he was like laughing, and now he's out $20. So, that you tell me, it's your analogy is perfect, Steve.
I'm sitting here looking at this, and I don't think I've ever seen gold and silver do this in my entire life. I mean,
you never will again. You never will again.
And that's coming from someone. I mean, you've done this for I'm not even gonna say how many years.
Yeah.
You saw it in the 80s.
Sure.
We really haven't seen this. I mean, maybe
the 80s. I mean, I was the guy bidding the market up. I was, I would, how many for that? I need 500. Okay, you're buying 25,000 ounces at a crack, and you just keep bidding and you keep pushing, and it just keeps going. And that's what's going on here because, like you said, who's going to step in front of it? I'm palms in, I'm buying. Who's selling? The guys like
that's a good question. Who is there? Anybody that is actually selling?
I'll tell you what. I had a very interesting release about a month ago on X that central banks had reduced their short positions in metals by 63%. That's gigantic. There's like hedges. Now we're out. We're long. And that was a pretty startling number. That's why I released it,
42.64 now, another dollar up. And while we're talking here, Peter,
yeah,
Howard and I were talking about this morning, and I mean, when you buy gold and silver, it's usually to protect your portfolio.
Yes.
You don't see the stock market up and crypto up and metals up.
Yeah, it's an unusual parenting, isn't it?
So explain it to me, because I sure as hell can't figure it out.
Well, I think let's just go to the word that you use, which is portfolio. Okay. People, if you remember a year and a half ago, you said to me, okay, how much should I have in my portfolio? Everybody was saying 5. I was saying 10. Ray
Dalio told me 10 too.
Right.
Yeah.
And at 10, now remember, at as we rolled out of there, and I did a full review of the global situation, which I always stay abreast of, I said it's time to go to 20. And so now all of my followers have been at 20% in a portfolio of the four major metals. And it isn't a hedge, it's an investment now. And I started calling it the techno metal a while ago because all of the chips have gold in them.
Every one of them do, yes.
People seem to forget. And I think I announced it on your show. I said it's no longer gold, it's techno metal, because all of these chips, all of those giant cooling fins on the AI machines are plated in gold.
That's right, they are, yeah.
We're seeing a lot of new usages for an old metal, and demand on the industrial side is really picking up.
All right, what I'm going to do, Howard, is I'm going to keep Peter here. I'm going to run out to my gold and silver local dealer. Just have Peter keep talking. I'm going to run.
So you can sell at the highs.
I'm done with the deal. Then you can Peter. Okay.
I know. I can't talk out of school, but I seem to recall that Steve came to AU Secure and picked up some metal very cheap. But I won't mention it. Okay, nobody will know.
I'll say it. $19 an ounce. I'm fully aware. I know what it was at.
He called me. He said, "Should I buy it here?" I said, "How much can you carry?"
A lot. I took a lot. I think I took a lot. Why looking at me like, why do we have all this? Yeah. So I mean, the bottom line is, it's good to be right. But you know what? I've been wrong as much as I've been right. This time I happened to nail it on the lows, and everybody has enjoyed it. So it's been a good run. But I have how much time do we have, Steve? For you, my man, I'll sit here and I will sell my silver while you're talking. I'm just you have all the time in the world, my man. Tell us what you're thinking.
I wanted to talk to the American people about something, and I know you have a good reach. So
we will step away. We'll let you talk. You keep talking, Peter, and Howard and I. We're here. Just we'll let you tell your thoughts.
All right, everyone. We have in reserves about a little. Getting close. We're getting close to $1 trillion now. Could be tickling it right now as far as the Fort Knox goes, which is part of our reserve. And what I am proposing is we have troops around it. We have it sitting there. We have it guarded. It's doing nothing. All right. If I came in and created for the American government a lending program where we went bank to bank. So in other words, when the Bank of England wants to put gold, physical gold, in its portfolio, it could come to the program I create, come to the United States, tickle the keys at their bank, and we would have the Bank of England and they'll buy $500 million worth of gold, and we would issue them a certificate of ownership. And then they would have gold on their books, and we could do what's called a gold lending program. With a gold lending program at 7%, rather than having a gigantic blob of gold sitting which is completely static, sitting in Fort Knox, I could make it active. I could bring in $50 to $100 billion in lending and put it right into the treasury. And I could do it every year. Be very easy for me to do. Myself and maybe a team of 10, 12 guys, we could crack it out and create an entire new division we'd probably do it at the Fed. I'd go to my old office at the Federal Reserve there and set it up, and it would be great. And I think it would bring transparency, because everything would be registered. I'd have it certified. We'd create new certificates. It would go from institution to institution, and it would support financial inclusion across the board, and it would reduce dependency on some of the intermediates, whereas it would add stability to the global market, and it would also boost liquidity to the gold market and give it a more credence, if you will, for trading. So very simply, I can take a static item, which has no movement, pays no interest, is just sitting, and go into a full lending program, bank to bank, and create a revenue stream for the nation. And that's my idea for today.
And I look at this as Mr. President, are you listening? Right.
Yeah.
I do volunteer to come with you if you need someone just to
thank you, Howard.
carry your bags.
Well, Steve knows the White House well. He can keep me from tripping over things, even though they've changed things quite a bit, right?
We'll keep you safe.
It's funny you said that, Peter. I was in the White House not too long ago, and I got turned around a little bit. It's like, oh, that's different. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I understand that they did it. Okay, let's bring it back. I'm going to ask one last question before I let you go, because this is solid gold, and pun intended. Talking to the D-man, Peter Thomas himself. For those of you who don't know, Peter is chairman of Bayou Secure. He is the guy who's been around the markets, literally the precious metals markets, for as long as most of you have been alive. Peter's been in the business of the movie industry. Peter has been in the several industries and for those of you who don't know, traders like ourselves, we are always in different industries, because that's part of being who we are. Peter, when I look at the markets today, and I hearken back to the old days of the 80s and 90s, where there was no computers, and it was yelling and screaming and gnashing of teeth, and I got my nose broke.
Right.
That was normal, right?
It sure was. This is a little crooked,
And you look at the markets today, where it's all computerized, kids sitting in grandma's basement trading Bitcoin and zero DTEs. What's the next level of all of this? I mean, I traded on graph paper and pen at the very beginning, and today I'm writing algos. What is the next level that you see in the markets here? Technology.
Well, I think if I ignore the future, then I'm going to be doomed to relive the past, and it's not where I want to be. So I've been working with AI myself. I've been trying to educate myself. I've actually been pretty disappointed in what AI has been able to do for me so far. But I'm going to go with what Mr. Musk said, in which he said, every day I'm amazed at how quickly this stuff learns. So I believe that advanced trading, big houses such as Goldman and the like, are spending a lot of money on developing advanced systems for trading. And I think that the big dogs are going to continue to be the big dogs and have the most advanced computer systems, as it's always been, Steve. And the question becomes, the little guys are going to have to be more of the tail on the dog versus being the dog. But I see more following of trend than I do more initiation of new position. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
When you say following of trend, do you mean that someone buys a big position in gold and then you're going to follow that trend and buy with that person? Is it FOMO? Is it FOMO on steroids, or is it more like you instruct the machine to follow the trends and buy whatever XYZ, whatever Nancy Pelosi buys, I'm buying. Whatever Peter buys, I'm buying.
Right. I think what I'll be doing is recognizing momentum more than anything, Steve. Okay. I think that's going to be the lead. And so when you say, hey, we got a guy comes in, and let's say, for example, last week Poland came in and bought 4 tons. So Poland comes in and bids 4 ton, and all of a sudden we're up $2, $3, $4, and we see the momentum moving a little bit, and I'm on it. I'm following these guys, and for me, I'm a scalper. You want to give me $4 or $5 on a position, I'll take that 4 or 5 times a day. Believe me, I'm a happy camper. And I think that is going to be more of the trend. And I think with the commission rates, which is really important, the commission rates are so low now that we'll be seeing more. That will keep the volume up, which will drive the houses.
I agree. All right, for good old time's sake, Peter, you're a floor boy. Myself, let's show the people hand signals. I have it out. I have my old pit hand signal book behind.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I had to remind myself of all the pit signals, so we're gonna buy.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you know what's interesting, Steve, is I still to this day I'll be like at the supermarket and I'll go buy them. It's like I'm a bidder, and they look and I look and I go, what are you doing?
let's do it, Peter. Let's show our people. Let's give them show them some contracts. Let's buy 50 contracts of gold.
Let's buy 1,000, right?
Buy 1,000.
Buying 1,000, baby.
Okay, so let's do it.
But I want to go to one real quick for you, Steve, which is I remember standing on the floor and a guy leaned over to me and said, at 5. And I said, no, I'm at 4.5. And he says, 4 at the order. I said, okay, 4 3/4, done. And the kid on the board wrote 5, right?
Oh.
And I was just thinking about it. I looked, and now that goes out all over the world.
Goes out, that's right. Yeah.
And I looked at him and said, no, 4 at the orders. And he looks down at me. He pulls his sleeve up, wipes the 5 off, and puts 4 3/4. That's how it used to be,
Yes. All right, so Peter, let's do it. Let's buy 50 contracts of gold here in the spot month.
Let's see it, buddy. Come on.
50, right? We're buying. I'll take 50, and I'm gonna go with 1,000. I'll do 4 1/4. All right, I love it.
And do you know your symbol for your house? Who did you give up?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Talk to me.
Oh, I used to, when I was doing Heinhold, you pointed to your butt.
I know.
You'd go 1,000, and then you'd point to your butt, and that was Heine. That was Heine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then people
Stearns, right?
Bear Stearns, right? Exactly. Yeah. So it's funny. So you would have the house and the amount, and you could do it with your hand. And you would, whether it was a buy or sell, the amount and what your clearinghouse was. So
half quarters. Yeah, I love it. All right, Peter Thomas, chairman of AU Secure. If you want to buy gold, you want to dump your gold, you want to talk gold, it's Peter Thomas. Peter, thank you so much. We'll see you right back here next time, my man.
Always a pleasure, Steve. Thank you for having me.
All right, Hondo. That was a treat, obviously, and it is now 10:30. Let's get out of here. We've done our thing, but man, I tell you, every time I talk to Peter Thomas, it tickles my heart because
absolutely, man, absolutely.
Knowledge and the and he has a heart of gold. All right, let's get to it.
He does.
Literally a heart of gold. I think he has a 2-ton heart of gold. Yeah.
Dow Jones is up 10 basis points. SPY is up 22 basis points. And the Q's up 55 basis points. Those are all lower than we started on the cash open. The small caps have taken a nosedive, now down 40 basis points. So we'll see what we get here. Mag 7, good thing Steve got out of that Tesla trade because it has gone positive for the day. Folks, we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Again, be careful out there.